3 years ago, 283 passengers and 15 crew members boarded Malaysia Airlines Flight 17 from Amsterdam Airport Schiphol to Kuala Lumpur. Less than 3 hours later, they fell victim to an armed conflict raging in eastern Ukraine. MH17 immediately became a flashpoint in that conflict and changed the perception of it. Suddenly, it became more difficult for anyone to paint the Russian-backed militants fighting in eastern Ukraine as a ragtag group of freedom fighters. It drew new eyes on the war in Donbass and the degree to which Russia was, and still is, involved. MH17 disappeared from radar while flying near the Ukrainian village of Hrabove in the Donetsk region. Debris from the aircraft scattered across various villages in the area, so at the request of Ukrainian authorities, the Dutch Safety Board began an investigation into the tragedy. It found that the aircraft had been downed by a Buk surface-to-air missile. Experts looked into a range of possibilities, from a possible technical failure to the widely debunked theory of an air-to-air missile. They said only a surface-to-air missile could explain all aspects of the crash. A joint investigation team, which is also being led by Dutch officials, concluded that the Buk in question was fired from a field controlled by Russian-backed forces near the town of Pervomayske and was transported into Ukraine from Russia just days before the incident. Several independent investigations, including by the open-source investigative outfit Bellingcat, have concluded that the Buk can be traced back to a Russian military unit based in Kursk, Russia. The Malaysian government has said that it is confident charges will be brought against the perpetrators as early as this year. But if that happens, they'll be tried in a Dutch court under Dutch law. This is because Russia has been curiously opposed to an international tribunal, a move that has been seen as a tacit admission of guilt, at least in the court of public opinion. Interestingly, in the immediate aftermath of the incident, the Russian-backed separatists themselves admitted everything. Igor Girkin, the former Russian intelligence officer turned separatist leader, took to social media and bragged about shooting down what he thought was a Ukrainian warplane. A pro-Kremlin media outlet called Life News, which was little more than a Russian mouthpiece for the separatists, reported the same. But when the plane was discovered to have been a civilian airliner, they began to deny everything. Nevertheless, there was a genuine belief that the incident would lead directly to the end of the conflict. This was heightened when a high-profile pro-Kremlin Russian journalist, one thought to be Putin's favorite reporter, suggested that Vladimir Putin might stop propping up the rebels if he determined that they had downed the airliner. But that didn't happen. The Kremlin has continued to deny any direct or indirect involvement in the tragedy. Perhaps worse, it has refused to cooperate with bringing the perpetrators of this crime to justice, and it doesn't look like the Kremlin will change their position on that anytime soon.